My name is Sandra Kwak, and I'm the founder of 10 Power. We are a certified B Corporation working to bring renewable energy to people around the world who don't have access to electricity today. And we do that through project development and finance. So project development, providing engineering codes and standards, working to build capacity within the community with a gender empowerment lens, and finance, sourcing the appropriate capital to help businesses and individuals get access to renewable energy and to pay so that they're saving money on electricity. 10 Power was founded in 2015, and my background before that was big data for the smart grid. My life mission is to reverse climate change within my lifetime and get humanity back on course with evolution that's in sync with human evolution and natural evolution. We've been working in Haiti to provide commercial scale solar with a gender empowerment lens. And if you look at the places in the world that have the lowest access to electricity, you'll notice that they're clustered around the equator. It's kind of the curse of colonialism. But what's interesting about these places that have low access to electricity is that when you overlay renewable energy generation potential, the places with the highest energy poverty on the planet are actually the places that have the most potential for solar. It's the places that we have the most sunshine. We chose to start our business in Haiti because it's the closest place to the United States that has that deep red, high energy poverty. Over 70% of the population doesn't have access to electricity. And unfortunately, a lot of these communities who contributed the least to climate change are the ones who are suffering the impacts of climate change, which has been further compounded by the global pandemic. And I'll get into that a little bit later. I think this is actually a quadruple pandemic that we're facing, not just disease. It's also the pandemic of colonialism, climate change, and capitalism. Haiti is an incredible place to be. It's full of natural resources and beauty, full of incredible people who are working to achieve their highest potential. And it is 10 Power's goal to help every being achieve their highest capabilities that they want to impart upon the world. Now, a little bit about myself. I actually didn't find this out until recently. My dad is from South Korea, which was the poorest country on the planet when he was a little kid. And within one generation, I see the potential for a country to really go from the bottom of the stack to the top of the stack. Haiti was the first Black republic. Their revolt in 1804 enabled them to become independent and to overthrow slavery. And I really see a lot of potential for Haiti to continue that trajectory and for there to be a south to north technology transfer. Now, it's similar to what June was talking about in terms of the humanitarian industrial complex and the nonprofit industrial complex. We're still seeing a lot of vestiges of that in Haiti, which is also known as the Republic of NGOs. We see a lot of potential for Haitian businesses to be able to create their own resources through energy independence and get off of diesel generation from dirty, polluting diesel generators, which not only create climate change, but also have impacts on people's lung health, critically important during the times of COVID especially, and to help them get onto reliable, renewable electricity, which is creating benefits that are reinvested into their community. 10 Power's business model is threefold. We bring project development in terms of international engineering codes and standards. We source finance so that customers can pay back over time, saving money every single month. This is a crucial missing piece in a lot of these markets. And we're focused on building out local ecosystems with a gender empowerment lens. We've launched a women's solar installer training program, and we are helping to reinvest money back into these communities. We take a small markup on the project development, which is a markup on the equipment and installation. We work all with local installers. And then we also charge interest on the solar loans, and we reinvest those revenues back into future projects. We're proud to be working on multiple UN Sustainable Development Goals, or global goals, namely number 1, no poverty, number 5, gender empowerment, number 7, renewable energy access for all, and number 13, climate action now. Now I'll get a little bit into our projects. So one of our first projects was solar for HAITI. Dlo means water in Creole. We put solar on 2 of their water purification facilities, which in turn are providing free drinking water to school children and supporting over 600 micro enterprises, majority women-led. One of our flagship projects was solar on UNICEF Haiti's headquarters. When we installed this project in 2018, it was actually the largest solar plus renewable energy storage project on any UNICEF base in the entire world. And we're proud to be demonstrating that places like Haiti can lead in implementing the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Here's a little bit of drone footage from our UNICEF Haiti solar install. The woman in the beginning was Daphne. She's our Haiti operations engineer. This project was implemented on 3 of their office buildings in downtown Port-au-Prince, where they base all of their Haiti operations out of. And we launched our Women's Solar Installer Training Program with this project, which we're proud to be continuing. The women solar installers that we have been training are students at one of Haiti's leading tech universities called HAITI Tech University. And we've been providing field experience for them. Several of them have gotten jobs with our local Haitian solar installer partners. And it's just incredible to hear these women talk about how energy independence is so important to their livelihood, to their country's livelihood, and they're proud to be participating in this initiative. During the pandemic, we completed a project on the island of La Gonave, which is an island off the coast of Haiti, right here. And this solar-powered water desalination plant is now providing clean drinking water for over 40,000 people. Now, getting into the root causes of what's behind energy inequality that's been compounded by the pandemic, I really see it as a fourfold attack on society. It's not just the COVID pandemic, it's also the vestiges of colonialism, which are very much live in our society right now, climate change, which is just getting worse and worse by the minute, and capitalism, which is exacerbating the rich-poor gap. In my TED Talk, Fourth World Nation Building, I explore my vision for a future which is more equitable and just, that includes things like 100% renewables for 100% of humanity, net zero buildings that generate oxygen and food, using informatics, big data, and AI to help us better understand our natural systems, and respecting traditional ecological knowledge that has come built up by generations before us. Thanks so much. Y'all can follow us on social media. Our handle is @10power. And so much gratitude to you, Carrie, to your class that's been working with us this semester on a marketing project, and to all the other amazing work that the presenters on this call are doing.
Thank you so much, Sandra. You know, I'm a huge fan of your work and what you're doing to one of the poorest countries in the world. So thank you so much. So I'm going to pose the same question to you. What are some of the things that we as individuals can do to help you actualize this work and see this vision through?
Well, climate change is really up to all of us. And no matter what industry that you're working in, food systems are incredibly important. Building materials, you know, talking to the work that the people on this call are doing, you know, building aggregates use an incredible amount of carbon dioxide, but also there are building aggregates that exist that can harvest carbon out of the atmosphere and put them into our building materials. Farming systems takes carbon and puts it back down into the ground. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're an artist, a scientist, a business person, you can incorporate climate into your activities, similar to the ways that we need to incorporate social justice. And a lot of those things can be done intersectionally at the same time.
Excellent. Thank you. We have a few questions coming in. Is this model being used locally as well? What are the different considerations for using it locally?
So we actually now at 10 Power are looking at expanding our business model locally now that we've been able to launch in one of the hardest places to do business in the world. And when I started 10 Power, I began it with a mission of helping people who don't have access to electricity. And now with the blackouts and wildfires, we're seeing that a lot of people here in California are without electricity during crucial moments. And so I'm super interested in partnering with folks who are working on electricity and energy access for underserved communities. And there are some really amazing business models and nonprofits that are working here in the Bay Area, such as Grid Alternatives, where people can volunteer their time to do solar installations on low-income homes. And we are especially interested in working with communities, low-income communities of color, to help create models that feed equity back into the community.